5 years ago, actually, my time hop came up on my phone this morning, and I was like, holy shit. 5 years ago, last night, I was on a very different stage. Very different stage. So this was my life 5 years ago. So for those of you that are unaware, this is the W Hollywood in Hollywood. The two girls in front are America's Next Top Models. The one I'm with is some sort of housewife of some county or city or something. So this was my life 5 years ago. I was a fashion designer. And I thought that this was my everything. And while I will show you a lot of the highlights quickly, it was very glamorous. This girl was on East Los High. That dress was named second best dressed behind Ava Longoria. That is the drummer, I think, from one of the rock bands from the 80s, and his beautiful wife attending the Grammys. That was my dress on the cover of Apparel News. This is Italia Ricci, who is now on some big show with Kiefer Sutherland, in my dress at one of my parties that I hosted. This is a woman opening the LA Sparks game, and who knows who this is? That's Toni Braxton. If any of you gonna know Unbreak My Heart, classic, classic. So while all of this looks really great and really flashy and really beautiful, my life sucked. I was crying all the time. I felt like I was running on a hamster wheel. I felt like I was putting out all this tremendous effort and nothing was working. I was getting to the point where I couldn't pay my bills. I'd been let go from my part-time job. My unemployment had run out, and I literally had no idea what was next at all. And then, remember how I mentioned on Thursday? This happened. So March 19th, 2015. I was at a stoplight, heading into my office to, again, put out all this massive energy. Rushing. I remember the date because it was my sister's birthday. I had called her within the first 5 minutes of my drive, got off the phone with her, was, feeling somewhat present, although nothing compared to what I now know to be presence. And the car in front of me accelerates. I look the other way for a hot second, look back. He had braked. He was turning left without a turn signal, and I had no time to react whatsoever. So I went from not being able to pay my bills, having a business that wasn't working, all these things, and the night before this, I had just committed to a $25,000 coaching contract that before this happened, I had no idea how I was going to pay it. And then I live in LA. You cannot exist in Los Angeles without a car. So not only had I just committed to this huge investment, I now was committing to another second investment, and I hadn't had a car payment in years. So as I sat on the corner, on the curb, while I was waiting for the tow truck to arrive, I was faced with a choice in that moment. And the first thing, before I even put my car in park, the first thing that came into my head was, you need to call and cancel your coaching contract. You need to tell her that you're backing out, that you can't do this because your reality right now looks pretty fucking bleak. And I had a choice in that moment. I could proceed forward with everything that my reality was telling me was true in that moment. No money, failing business, not having a car, all these things. That could be my reality. Or I could step into faith and trust that even though I, in my human form, had no idea how the fuck this was going to play out, that it was going to be for my best. Spoiler alert, I chose the faith path. I did not choose the fear path. I didn't tell a lot of people in my life a lot of things because it was going to pull me back into fear, but that's a whole different thing. So, what do you get when you combine 3 decades of leadership and training with 2 decades of taking leaps and 1 decade of entrepreneurship, which I just hit this year? That's me. Author, coach, speaker, and master leap taker. For those of you that don't know, Joe mentioned, I think on day 1, I'm the one that was sitting in the seat over here on Thursday, who wrote a 55,000 word book in 8 weeks. So my book is called Permission to Leap, if you didn't hear that before. And I'm going to share with you guys today 5 of the key ingredients for a successful leap, and also kind of debunk some of the stuff that we think about that is traditional in, mainstream life about the leap process. So the first key is commitment. It is so common when we are in the position that each and every one of us are in. We have these big, massive dreams. As someone mentioned earlier, you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. On one side of the fence is your leap. On the other side of the fence is not your leap. Here's the thing, though. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, the number 13 reason for failure is sitting on the fence and indecision. So what happens is you're sitting on this fence and you're like, am I going this way? Am I going this way? Like, I don't know. And you're ping-ponging back and forth. The universe literally has no idea what the fuck to do with you. Like, no idea. It's like you're saying, I'm going to go on a vacation in January, and the universe is like, great. Are you going to Vermont? Or are you going to Hawaii? Do I send you a parka? Or do I send you a bikini? What is it? So the first step in any leap process is you have to decide what you want. You have to make a commitment, and you have to stick to it. You can't get up one morning and say, yes, Vermont. Get up the next morning and say, just kidding, Hawaii. You're literally like realigning the universe with every ping pong you take, and it has no idea what to manifest for you. You have to pick a side. So the next point is alignment. This is one of my favorites because I think the biggest misconception about the leap process happens here. This is a photo I took earlier this year of my life. Just kidding. But I'll tell you, literally. So oftentimes when we make a commitment, shit starts falling apart. Everything starts going wrong, all of these things. And what is our natural thinking logic path? I made the wrong choice. Your life isn't falling apart because you made the wrong choice. Your life is literally falling together in alignment with the choice that you've made. So what happened to me this year? I was in Bali in December with the lovely Patricia, thank you, Joe, and went to see a healer, and she looked at me at one point and said, what are you waiting for? And I'm like, Bri Seeley, I don't wait for anything. She said, then why are you waiting to build a 7-figure business? Why not do it now? And I was like, oh, shit, I am waiting. So in January, I made the commitment. Screw the 6-figure business. I don't need to wait. I don't need to go 6 figures to multiple 6 to multiple to like da-da-da-da-da. No, I don't need to wait. I'm building a 7-figure business. And the second I made that commitment, my life started literally falling apart around me. Pretty much the only thing that's remained consistent in my life this year is my home. Thank you, Patricia. I had a second business, gone. Business partnership, done. That friendship, gone. My 10-week training program that made me loads of money last year stopped working. I trained 3,000 women in 90 days last year. This year, I could barely get 100 to show up for the exact same training. Literally everything in my life stopped working because I changed my trajectory. So your life will change when you decide to take a leap. Because your future cannot coexist with your present or with your past. So there's your present, there's your past. They literally cannot coexist at the same time. The steps I was taking towards a multiple 6-figure business are not the same steps you take towards a 7-figure business. They're not. So of course everything on my path stopped working. And even though I teach this shit, it took me a little bit to like figure that out. I'm sitting in my home being like, why is everything breaking? Nothing's working. All right, so the next step, clarity. This is another one of my favorite ones because as entrepreneurs, this is what we want, right? I'm going there, there's the path, it's really clear, I'm just going to do this, 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 and this. Easy, boom, right? This is what we get. So oftentimes we think we have to know everything in order to take the first step. That is not how the LEAP process works. Oren talked a lot about it yesterday, the unknown. We want to have that stability. We want to have that path. We want to have the tangibility of it all, but it doesn't work that way. You cannot, right now from where you are, you cannot have the perspective of the entire journey ahead of you. You just can't. But by taking one step, you're going to figure out what the next step is. And once you've taken that step, the next step is going to reveal itself. Until little by little by little, the path is laid in front of you. But you're not going to be able to see the whole thing all at once. So one of my favorite ways, and I know Andrea led us through something on Thursday about this, is using visualization. And really aligning yourself with that future vision. One caveat I would like little spin I want to put on it is that it's not about just seeing it. Take it a level deeper. How does it feel to be at that end point? Because the more that you can feel that end point and live from that place, the next steps are going to come to fruition. They're going to present themselves in front of you just easily, right? So all of the answers that you seek, the path is inside of you, right? You can't see it yet because you don't have the perspective, but the clarity comes. Clarity is a natural byproduct of commitment. It just is. But it doesn't happen before you commit. Doubt. This is a great one as well. Because I'm scared, I don't think that this leap is right. What if doubt were an indicator that you're on the right path? We're never going to be free from doubt. And it's not the doubts that actually matter. It's the fact that we give weight to them, we play into them, that we make them this big story that they are. A bunch of my women right now are in month 4 of my training program, and we're focusing on doubt for an entire month. Because your doubts exist inside of you, they just do. And a lot of the self-help industry is like, oh, just ignore them. Don't pay attention to your doubts. That would be like having a horrific sofa in your living room and being like, I'm just going to throw a sheet over this, and I can't see it, so it's not there. I'm just going to be positive. It's still taking up space in your living room. Like, it's still there. You just don't see it. So why not look at your doubts, heal them, transform them, so that you can move forward? And then when a new doubt comes up, because there will be layers of doubts that happen throughout the entire process, the closer you get, the deeper you get, the more that the next steps continue to reveal themselves, new doubts are going to pop up. And it's not about denying them, it's about healing them. Your doubts will never be more present than when you are in a leap of faith. And inspired action. So we've been talking a lot today about taking action, inspired action, integration, application, all this stuff, right? So oftentimes people commit and they're like, I'm committed to my leap, I'm leaping right now, I'm taking action, this is it. In my book, the leap is the 5th stage of a 6-stage process. Like the actual physical leap, taking action, is the 5th stage of a 6-stage process. So this would be like if you were saying, I'm going to go skydiving, and instantaneously you were up in a plane jumping out, right? It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of stuff leading up to it. There's a lot of clearing and emotions and processing that you need to do leading up to it. So action is great, and it is never the first step. You can be taking inspired actions along the way, But the actual leap itself doesn't happen until much later. And you'll know when that's happening, because for me, usually it involves losing my shit on my hot pink couch with my cats on either side, being like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So remember, inspired action doesn't come from the physical world. Talked a little bit about this on Thursday. I always concurrently operate in two worlds, the physical world and the spiritual world. Inspired action comes from the spiritual world. Joe talked about it earlier with the person that was like, I'm going to do this thing because I feel like I should do this thing. She was operating in the physical world. The spiritual world was not aligned, and she didn't get the results she wanted. Right? So actions and inspired actions have to come from that place of spirit, of the unknown, of magic and possibility. My two largest expansions in business have both come through meditation. Last year, when I got the idea to do the training, like I said, I trained 3,000 women in under 90 days. This year, literally like the day after I committed to my 7-figure business, I was in meditation, got this really clear, like, you're writing a book this year, and you're leaving LA for 2 weeks in June to write it. And I was like, I've literally never wanted to write a book in my life. Like, I kind of figured I would one day, but it wasn't like a thing, and I didn't really care, and I was like, oh. And so this year has been doing all the work, all the internal alignment, all the clarity, the commitment, all of that stuff. Addressing the universal double checks when the universe comes up and is like, are you sure? Because you could stay at the 6 figures and it'd be super good and easy. It's shiny over there. You sure you want the 7-figure thing? Addressing all of that, getting the clarity, figuring out what I was going to write, because I had no idea, but it didn't matter. All I knew was that I was writing a book, and I started feeling into that, and the book came. I channeled most of it. Joe gave me an Akashic Records session, and I just kept the whole time, I was like, get out of my own way, get out of my own way, let it flow through, get out of my own way. Okay, so I want to do some Q&A. God, I'm so good. All right, want to do some Q&A about the LEAP process, and if you guys have any specifics about a LEAP you've committed to or anything like that, I am all yours. They've got the mics. Let's see. It's not on.
It says it's on.
Yes.
Okay, so what if you think you've committed to the LEAP and you haven't?
Yeah. This is a good one, because a lot of times we think we have, and then it's really like, no, we haven't. Yeah, my invitation would be to start looking at the, like, what's keeping you from saying yes. Like a full-on, committed, visceral, full-body, fuck yes. What is that thing that's keeping you from that? And oftentimes it's all these made-up scenarios, right? We're either past tripping or future pacing or all of these things. Oren talked about this yesterday as well. Like, what's true for you right now in this moment? Does your leap light you up? Do you feel like you're contributing to the world? Is it something that excites you, that makes you want to get out of bed every day? Like, is that true for you in this moment right now? And what does it look like for you to take that commitment to a deeper level? Do you need to invest in yourself? Do you need to up the ante, increase the stakes? Like, is there something that you need to do that lets the universe know, I am actually serious about this? I know I've been waffling, and I know I've been like getting off the fence and then getting back on the fence and getting off the fence, and like, this is me getting off the fence once and for all, and this is the first step. This is what it looks like. And then the thing you have to remember is that getting off the fence isn't always a one-time decision. In fact, oftentimes it's a daily decision. Waking up every morning and being like, no, okay. No, I'm going to choose this. I'm choosing this. This is it. I'm choosing this. So the thing about the LEAP process as well is that it's not just a one and done kind of thing. The final phase that I didn't include in this is like the feedback loop as well. So once you've taken the leap, once you've done the like free fall and you're like, I'm dying, and you get on the other side of that, there's a whole feedback loop process, right? Of continually checking in to make sure that you stay in alignment. Because what happens is we're always going to get derailed. Always. You will always get derailed. Always. The second you're in balance or in alignment, you're going to fall out of it. It's just what happens. And it's not about the things that take us back on the fence. It's not about the things that get us out of alignment. It's about how you handle it and getting back into it, and how you remain in that commitment, even if you don't know what it looks like. In your morning, if you guys don't have a morning practice, please start one. The miracle morning. If you don't have a morning practice, the miracle morning, write it down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is fucking transformative. In your morning practice, how can I be just 1% more committed today? That's all it takes. Every day. How can I be 1% more committed today? Does that help?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. I think Portia had a question too.
So my question is in regards to the permission to take the leap. How do you balance that with the logical, practical, being responsible side of the brain when other people are also depending on this leap working? Like if it was just me, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'll figure it out. But then when you have little kids and you have a household and one of my daughters has special needs, like how do I balance like, whoa, if this doesn't work out, we're kind of screwed.
Yeah. So not every leap looks the same. You know, I don't know if I'd say lucky, but I happen to be in a situation where it's just me and I can put a lot more on the line because there's no one else relying on me. That's not to say that that looks that way for everyone. You know, your leap might look like having a side hustle to make sure that you have that stability, but it's still that energetic getting up every day and being committed to your leap and knowing that this thing is here and not holding resentment for it, but just loving that it's there to support you, support your family, whatever that looks like. I know you have your own business. I don't think a side hustle is your story, but whatever that looks like for you, so that you can ramp up. So I'm very much a burn the boat person. I'm like, have you guys seen Man on the Wire, where it's like he extends a tightrope walking thing between the Twin Towers back in like the 90s or whatever, and he literally walks between the Twin Towers without a safety net? That's me. That is how I best function. I literally have to put everything on the line in order to be motivated enough to do what I say I want to do. That's not everyone's story. In the book, I talk about a girlfriend of mine who is not a burn the boat person. That paralyzes her. If she were to get rid of everything, she just wouldn't do anything. So you just kind of have to feel into like what's best for you. You know, maybe it's not about just being like, fuck everything, I'm going to go over here and do this thing. How can your leap coexist with you taking care of your family? And the only person that's going to know that is you, right? So through meditation, through channeling, through whatever that process looks like for you to get messages, should be able to help you.
Mm-hmm. Isn't she great? Okay, so I have a question. It might be a little bit fuzzy. So when I'm leading my clients, I just would love your opinion on this, your perspective. When I'm leading my clients, they're often taking a big leap, right? So they're changing the name of their business, or they're changing like a complete direction. And then there's a lot of like micro leaps inside that, like changing their ideal client, or changing their tagline, or changing the way they're messaging. And so I'm just curious, I sometimes see my clients not stepping up with the micro leaps. They might take the big one, but they kind of don't want to step up with all of them. So I'm just curious your perspective on that.
So my guess would be with the micro leaps. So the micro leaps are like the day-to-day stuff of how we get up and we take all the little step-by-step stuff towards the big leap, right? So the leap, the like bigger one, is just this energy, right? It's just this thought. It's this untouchable spiritual world thing. The micro leaps are the physical world application of that. And by saying, okay, I'm going to change my domain, I'm going to change my branding, I'm going to do that, it's taking that energetic leap and literally bringing it into the physical world. And so there's oftentimes a whole lot of resistance when you're going from the energy to the physicality of a leap, because it makes it real, right? Like it all of a sudden you're talking about it and it's fun and it's exciting and I'm going to do this thing and da-da-da-da-da, and then you like have to do it and you're like, holy fuck. It's the same thing with investing in yourself. The second you invest in yourself, it makes it real.
Yeah.
You no longer
true.
have a choice but to do this thing that you've been talking about. So that would be my guess and suggestion is that there's just resistance, and this just happens in the manifestation process in general. Funneling energy into physical form takes a lot of like energetic and emotional like stuff, right? And so it's just dealing with the resistance, getting to the underlying root or cause if they're having procrastination, figuring out like what that is within them that is preventing them from taking that energy and bringing it into physical form.
Thanks, Bri.
Okay, I think I have two questions. The first one is it common to take a leap and not know why the fuck you took it?
I mean, possibly. I'm one that my why drives me so hard that like there's this, people ask me all the time, they're like, where do you get the inspiration to do what you do? And I'm like, it's just so inherent within me that I can't not. And so my why is so present. But if you're being called to do something, like I was being called to write this book, I didn't know at the time what it was going to turn into, how it was going to all play out. Like I didn't know all of that stuff. But because it came to me the way it did, I just said yes. And then all of the other information kind of clicks into place and you'll get clarity on it. But, you know, if it's your ego saying, you need to write a book, obviously that's different than spirit being like, hey, it's time for you to write a book.
Yeah.
And so if you're saying yes to that, there has to be a why, and the why will be revealed to you, or it won't. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And the second one, sort of tailgating that, is if you get derailed, do you have like ways to bring yourself back into alignment with it?
Yeah, I mean, I recommend the feelization thing I was talking about earlier, like getting back into the energetics of that endpoint and really feeling into that. Also, you know, your why. You could write up a personal mission statement.
Yeah.
What I do is I'm so guided by that bigger vision that's what helps me remember who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what my place is in it, and remind me who to be, how to show up, what to wear, all the things.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we are almost out of time. I want to ask everyone quickly if you would like a little more, because I only had 30 minutes, guys, let's be real. I fit as much of the force into a slideshow as I could. How many of you would like a little more help or support around taking your leap? So for any of you that would, I want you to get out your handy dandy little cell phone. And you can text this number, 323-902-7651. And you can send me your email address. And my book comes out in 37 days, but who's counting? And I've already have 200 people who are reading it. A lovely woman in the front here, Jessica Tang, has already read the first half, and she messaged me this morning and was like, oh my God, I read the first half in one sitting. It's so good. So I would love to give you guys an early reader copy of the book. So it won't be out, and like I said, for another 5 weeks, 6 weeks. I can't do math. But I will gift it to all of you. Cool? So send me your email address. And then I want to do something kind of fun quick. So, and this is just a reflective question for you guys. What is it going to take for you to say yes, for you to be in that full fuck yes commitment to your leap? That's something you guys can journal on. There will literally never be a better time than now for you to do it. I interviewed someone for my podcast, and the reason she said yes to her leap was she finally realized she would never be younger than she is right now in this moment. She will never have less distractions, commitments, obligations than she does right now in this moment. Life is not getting any easier. We all think like, oh, things will get easier. Things will get, we're all entrepreneurs. Let's be honest. That's never happening. There is never any time but now to say yes to taking your leap. And also, the world fucking needs you. If you're in this room, the world needs you, all right? So I want to do something fun. So the reason I know there's exactly 37 days left of my leap is that I've been doing video countdowns of my leap process. Every day I record like 2 to 3 minutes of like where I'm at, my mental state, which is often, off the Richter scale. But I want to do a little video, if you guys are all up for it. I would like everyone to stand up. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and I want everyone, I'm going to record this. Is anyone okay not being recorded? So you can step off to the side. Jen. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to record this, and I want everyone to say, I'm taking the leap, okay? Wait, let me turn it on video. I'm notorious for that. Get a photo of you guys all going. All right, ready? I'm taking the leap. Oh my God, I love that. I just got chills. Thank you, guys.